Today marks the 20th anniversary since Malaysia's People's Justice Party, or PKR, was formed. Once an opposition party, it swept to power on the 9th of May last year following the surprise election results.
Party members are gathering at Rantau in the state of Negeri Sembilan to celebrate the party's birthday, where PKR President Anwar Ibrahim will address them later. Now, for more on what's happening, let's go over to Melissa Go. Mel, PKR now in power. Do we know what's next for the party?
Well, PKR, Parti Keadilan Rakyat, the People's Justice Party, has come a long way since it was formed some 20 years ago as a multiracial party. Now, in the beginning, remember, the party's struggle seemed to be to free the party president, Anwar Ibrahim, who was then the deputy prime minister, and to uphold justice. Now, 20 years on, how has that changed? Now, I'm joined here with founder and also party president, Anwar Ibrahim himself, to speak more. We are here in Rantau, some 70 kilometers outside of Kuala Lumpur, where a by-election campaign is now underway. Datuk Sri Anwar, can you tell me, how has the party changed over the years? It's been 20 years. It's a long journey. How has the party struggled? Reformasi, what is it for you now?
It is a reform movement committed to transforming what we consider an obsolete, repressive society to a more transparent, democratic system of government. And I think although initially it was associated with the freeing of Anwar, it was always held and focused on the fundamentals of judicial reform, media freedom, and democratic, free and fair democratic elections. And I think that we have come a long way. Now, 10 months after forming the Pakatan Harapan, we will still pursue the agenda. Tun Mahathir has achieved a measure of success, but I think we need to always remind our members the fundamental program, policies of keadilan, very much associated with the reformasi movement.
Now, PKR now holds the most number of seats in Parliament, some 52 seats in Parliament. But its multiracial approach as a multiracial party, is it still the way to go in this climate where we are seeing that the former ruling party UMNO and the opposition Islamic Party PAS tying up in all the by-elections have been, having some success, gaining popularity?
Yes and no. You cannot ignore the fact that I won in essentially a multiracial seat, although the majority were Malays, but then there were a substantial number of Chinese, Indians, and even Orang Asli. And we won comfortably. We have lost since. And I think that's caused a lot of concern in the leadership because of the Malay backlash, the issue, the use of race card and religious bigotry to then convey a message that the Malays are being sidelined or marginalized. So there's a sense of insecurity. There is somewhat the concern of a Malay backlash. But I think we need to engage with the people to say, look, finally, it is still a Malaysian agenda. We cannot progress and proceed by ignoring the Malays. At the same time, we cannot proceed or progress by ignoring or marginalizing the Chinese and the Indians or the Ibans and the Kadazan. And I believe, therefore, that finally reason will prevail, as we have seen in the past. It is almost impossible, unthinkable, that we could dislodge this powerful UMNO-led government, but we did.
Yes, indeed. The focus has been on the power transition. How is that coming along? And when you're finally at the helm, how do you want to chart the country and chart a party forward in, say, the next 20 years?
No, the transition issue, as far as the leadership is concerned, is quite settled. But this is a democratic government with a free media. There are people jostling for power. There are people who like to create this sort of a mischief, trying to get, particularly my personal relation with Mahathir. As long as this is on track, there was an agreement, signed agreement. There was a clear understanding. Tun Mahathir has repeatedly reiterated the position Anwar will succeed. And for now, as agreed, Mahathir will be the Prime Minister and Azizah will be Deputy Prime Minister. And more important is the position of all the four parties in the coalition, there's no semblance or different opinion when it comes to the issue of transition. The only concern is because this is being talked about. Of course, media, they would thrive on these sort of issues, but I honestly do not sense any problem when it comes to transition. And I have said repeatedly that we must give the space, the confidence to Mahathir to chart this new agenda, the reform agenda. And he has precisely done that.
Let's hope Dr. Mahathir, who's been saying that he's a man in a hurry, time is running out, give more clarity. He gives more clarity to your transition. Thank you for speaking with CNA. Now, I was speaking with Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, celebrating the 20th anniversary of PKR, the party founded some 20 years ago. Back to you, Steve. Back to you, Glenda.